Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Pyro here with my very first deck guide video. This deck is a 37 card Foltest deck that I built and have steadily been upgrading as I go along and as I need to. As you can see, we run a lot of cards that rely on muster effects. We have 3 Blue Striped Scouts, which will buff any and all Bronze Loyal Temerian units. Now, we are not short on Bronze Loyal Temerian units here. We have Aretuza Adepts, we have Temerian Infantrymen, and we have Blue Stripes Commandos. The nice thing is that whenever you play Blue Stripes Scout, if you have a Blue Stripes Commando in your deck that is the same power, it will summon the Blue Stripes Commando from your deck. Now, these Blue Stripes Commandos are also interesting because whenever you play another Temerian ally, and like I said before, we are not short on those, if they have the same power, they will summon from your deck. This can be very, very useful if your opponent has passed and you need a burst amount of points. Apologies, that was my dryer. And you need a burst amount of points in order to catch up and win the round. You can do that very easily with the Temerian Infantrymen pulling a Blue Stripes Commando. The Blue Stripes Commando will also pull with the Aretuza Adepts. Now, on to the Aretuza Adepts, these are your tutors for the Biting Frosts. Their card text says they play a quote-unquote random Bronze Weather card from your deck, but since we are running 3 Biting Frosts, the random is kind of thrown out of the equation there. Now, I prefer to run Biting Frost because I find that they are more effective at getting units off the board, especially with the prevalence of Commander's Horn in almost every single Swarm deck you'll run across. But you can run pretty much whatever Bronze Weather suits your fancy. If you want Fog, get Fog. If you want Rain, use Rain. It's no big deal. Now, the other muster effects we have the Reaver Scouts, which are normally used to pull out some extra Temerian Drummers, or really just any extra unit you critically need at the moment. As far as the Witch Hunters, these are really becoming some of my favorite cards here. The Witch Hunters, what they do is they will reset a unit, and it doesn't have to be an enemy unit. It can be your own unit if you need to buff a damaged unit, or it could be an enemy unit. But the trick is that if you reset a mage unit, it pulls another Witch Hunter from your deck. And this can also provide a hefty amount of tempo, not only in the muster effect, but also in the reset effect. Because if you have someone who's buffing up like a Impera Brigade or a high-powered Ekimara, if you pull your Witch Hunters out, you can get a nice tempo swing through the muster and through resetting high power units. It is a very, very nice effect and is something that I have found to be absolutely essential when running this deck. Now, down here, we have my actual favorite cards in this deck, the Dunbanner Light Cavalry. Now, Dunbanner Light Cavalry, what this does is if it's at the start of your turn and you have not passed, if you are losing the round by more than 20 power, 21. If you're losing by 21 power or more, it pulls this unit from your deck. And we have 3 of them in here because that's a nice 12 power catch up, suddenly closing the gap from 21 to 9. And it is very easy to catch up 9, especially if you can con your opponent into passing. Now, obviously that's 12 power if they're not buffed up, but we have Foltest, so we can buff them up. So they could go up to 15 power, and even more if you use Dandelion on them. But the real treat for this is when it comes with its synergies with Taylor. Now, Taylor is your typical silver spy here. 11 power on your opponent's side of the road, on your opponent's side of the board, and you get to draw You get to draw 2 cards and keep 1. However, if you can pull Taylor with Alzur's Double Cross, that gives you an even better shot at forcing your opponent to summon your Dunbanner Light Cavalry. Now, as far as the silvers go, I originally did not run the Silver Witchers. I actually had Death Mold, Margarita Law and Tile, and Commander's Horn. I decided to drop those 3 because I found that over time they were not providing me with as much value as I wanted. But the reason why I did not run the 3 Witchers at first was because this deck is heavily reliant upon your draws and your mulligans. Now, the problem with the Witchers is that if you happen to draw them and you want to put them back in your deck, they will not blacklist each other. So you have a really good shot at pulling another Witcher if you blacklist one when you don't want to. As far as the rest of the cards, they're pretty much self-explanatory. Reinforcements is another tutor card for pulling out another critical soldier or support unit that you need. And our soldier and support units are basically what we would actually pull out would be Blue Stripe Scout, Reaver Scouts, possibly a Temerian Infantryman if we don't have one in hand, and the Temerian Drummers. As far as the golds are concerned, I have Dijkstra, because Dijkstra is just a great card, especially as a backup finisher. So like you're in round 3, you've already played your Witchers, and you need another boost. You have a few more cards in your deck. You throw Dijkstra on their side of the field. You could get lucky. I get it. It's a high risk, high reward situation. But if you happen to pull Shani to get your to get your Temerian Drummer out, or if you can actually get Yennefer out and play the Unicorn or the Chironex, depending on how many units are on each side of the board, that could easily swing it into your favor. Now, Dandelion, I finally got Dandelion, and I absolutely love him in this deck. He boosts 3 units in your deck by 2, and then you shuffle your deck. I normally use him to buff up Vesemir. It'll buff him up to 9. Or wait, is that right? 3 units in your deck by up to 2? Yeah, that's right. So I use him to buff up Vesemir. He'll buff up Vesemir up to 9, then Foltest will bring Vesemir up to 10. And then I'll either throw him on Dunbanner Light Cavalry at the very least, and if I have all of my buffs done with the Blue Stripe Scout and Foltest, I will throw him on the Temerian Infantryman if I haven't played him, or I will throw it on the Witch Hunter. That's pretty much it for that. There's really nothing complicated about playing Dandelion. You just want to use them on some of your biggest muster effects. I really like him on the Witchers, especially Vesemir, because if I have Vesemir fully buffed, he'll be at 10 strength. Now, if I have already played Taylor and I have Alzur's Double Cross in my hand, Alzur's Double Cross will be a guaranteed pull on a fully buffed Vesemir, and that will buff him up to 12, bringing the value of the Witchers up to 23. That's a very nice finisher to have. We have Shani, like I said, to resurrect Temerian Drummers or Reaver Scouts, depending on what you need. Those are really the only ones that have any kind of value. Or if you played one Witch Hunter and didn't summon the other 2 from your deck, you can resurrect your Witch Hunter, play it on a mage, and then pull the other 2 from your deck for a nice little boost as well. That has saved my life a couple times. And then we have Yennefer, who is your typical Swarm, who's pretty much a standard in Swarm gameplay. You have a Unicorn for boosting all your units if you have more than them, or a Chironex to damage all of their units if you have less than them. So that's pretty much it. We'll go into some games and see how we do. I have been playing around in ranked for a little bit, just kind of still hovering around 4K, but we're going to take this into casual because I'm pretty much burnt out on ranked right now. Yeah.
The North shall tuck tail and beg for mercy.
Onward! Attack!
Oh, this is an odd pairing. It's not very often I get paired with somebody low ranking. Okay, so we actually have a fairly decent starting hand here. We're going to go ahead and drop the Biting Frost so we can pull that out with Aretuza Adept later. We have 3 of our golds in hand. That's actually fairly nice. Blue Stripe Scout. Actually, you know what? I don't even know if I want to really mess with this. I'm just going to keep this deck or keep this hand. Okay, so we got to go first. Not really ideal, but it's okay. A lot of people, when they play Foltest, will actually play Foltest first because because he buffs everything in your hand and deck, all the loyal units. I prefer not to do that. I prefer to save them for later as a catch-up mechanic if I really need to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start off with a Blue Stripe Scout.
Regroup! Semper Fi!
Okay, it looks like it's going to be a spy deck, at least from first glance. So we'll go ahead and use the Reaver Scout, pull out
You one of us or not?
another Blue Stripe Scout, keep the buffs
Bloody
and musters going.
No one can hide from me.
Cantarella. That'll give us an out to play our spy as well. We won't get the benefit of the Dumb Banner like Cavalry, but it will prevent us from going cards down.
Ah, I see you've thought about this.
I'm going to take the Aretuza Adept. I'll save the Drummer for later. Aretuza Adept would be good for putting pressure on your opponent. Now, it's very likely that he'll just bounce us back with Emir
If
or
not by
Kahir.
strength,
but
then by stealth.
It's okay. Oh, wow. I wonder what he did that for. It's not like I can kill spies. Okay, so we'll go ahead and pull out
But we're broke as shit
the last
peddlers.
Scout.
Elves must die!
Let's finish that buff cycle. Still rather curious why he played Infiltrator on that. It doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
Discipline. That is what you folk lack.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play Foltest. See if we can't just seal this round.
Onward! Attack!
Alright, we take round 1. We're a card down, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and play Dandelion first. And then we're going to see if we can't just bleed out some of his stuff. Okay, we don't want Vesemir in hand. We don't... Oh, God. And we definitely don't want Dumb Banner like Cavalry. You know, we might just actually dry pass this round, but I'm going to go ahead and drop Vesemir. So, let's go ahead and play Dandelion.
With pleasure.
And if he plays into it, less than 10 points, we'll just go ahead and pass. I went and buffed Vesemir, Temerian Infantryman, and Dumb Banner like Cavalry. Well, that's cute. Okay. He really, really wants this round. I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and put a little pressure on him.
Doubt I'll ever pay
That
off
was an
these
early
school
use of
loans.
Joaquin. That's usually a finisher, but who am I to judge?
I never miss.
Okay. Yeah, nice thing about this deck is you can actually go one card down and not have to worry about it too much. But I really would not want to, really do not want to go one card down against this guy, against Emir. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and pull these guys out.
I don't want to die.
And if he plays less than 17 points, I will go ahead and pass. Get back on even cards.
I always find a way in.
Okay, perfect. That's my pass. That's not going to be enough. No, he's still got to play another card. He's going to go one card down. Perfect. That is beautiful. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll take the win then. Alrighty then. So we'll go ahead and go into a second game. See how we do in that one. Rolling ranked right now. I just want to take a break for a minute.
Set at my table, and let's drink.
Okay, King Bran.
Close ranks.
100% going to be a restore deck. This deck can be very frustrating to play against, but it is not impossible to win. So we got 2 of our done banners and Blue Stripes Commando. Now our mulligan priority actually is going to be the done banner first. Oh god, of course it'll give me a Witcher. So we'll go ahead and drop the Blue Stripes Commando and drop the other done banner. Oh man, this is one terrible hand. We're gonna have a hard fight with this one. And we have to go first. Naturally. Okay, so Blue Stripe Scout first.
Bloody non-humans.
I most certainly do not like this hand that I have.
Or me.
Especially not against Restore Skellige. Saris, Olgierd, and Mortvarg. Makes me wish I still had Margarita, but oh well. Oh, Queensguard. Regis. Is this a Camby deck? This has got to be a Camby deck. Wow. I was
You
not
one of
expecting
us
that.
or not?
Bloody non-humans.
Never see Regis unless it's a Camby deck because they use that on Hemdall.
Glory to you.
Craig Fondue. Yeah, this definitely has to be a Camby deck if they're buffing Saris and Regis like that. Okie dokie.
You one of us or not?
This is definitely going to be very interesting.
Bloody non-humans.
It's the first time I faced a Camby deck in this current state of the meta.
He is here.
Okay, that's our cue to pass. And now we need to get a decent mulligan, but it's going to be difficult because we have 2 Witchers and 2 Temerians in hand. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and blacklist one of the Witchers, and then hopefully we can get something. Oh god, of course, 3rd Temerian. Of course, if I'd have mulligan the Temerian, it would give me a 3rd Witcher. So it is what it is.
Famous last words right there.
So we're gonna go ahead and buff Vesemir, buff a done banner, and we'll, buff up. So we got a 6 on Eskel. So we'll go ahead and buff up Lambert also. Restore and Dragbondu.
Glory to you.
Let's see here. I don't really have any very decent targets for anything. So I'll go ahead and just delay for now.
Close ranks.
It really sucks that I have all 3 of my Temerians in hand. Really sucks. I would be satisfied just having 2 of them in hand.
to you.
Alright, I'm gonna get out of this round. At least we can go down in even cards.
Lugos will be bursting with pride!
We want to try to avoid playing our Witchers until after he triggers Camby. Or at least try anyway. Okay, Alzur's double cross, that'll get out. That'll get out Taylor at least. Okay, phew. I was really hoping for not getting a Witcher. We really need to play this carefully.
The goddess protect you from all evil!
Because he's been sitting there
Glory
straight
to you.
buffing Regis and Ceres this entire time. And we need to be very careful about when we play our Witchers, because we do not want them out when Camby goes off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull out Taylor. At least get our dumb banners out.
Who takes an interest in cobblers? No one.
I'll take a drummer. That'll at least give us final word.
War at last! Ha ha! War, my beloved!
Alert! To arms!
Problem is right now we don't have a good mage. We don't have a mage target at all for the witch hunters. So we'll play it. I'm gonna go ahead and play the drummer.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Glory to you.
This is a point where I really wish I had Scorch, but I don't.
I told you so, you idiot!
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Need a good slapping.
Okay, this is going to seem a little unorthodox. Actually, no, I can't do that because that's only, what, 2-3 points? What the hell? Just get out the Temerians.
I don't want to die!
It's really hard to bounce back from a point deficit like this when he's been sitting there just straight graveyard buffing 2 gold cards. I can't play Dijkstra right now because I run the risk of pulling one of the Witchers, and I don't want to do that. And I can't play the Witchers right now because I'm waiting for Camby to go off.
Modron Freyr is patient, but she brooks no insult.
I'll take that treasure. Till you're collared off with it!
That's it! Good!
Come to Pappy!
I mean, really, I could play Yennefer right now because they are over on us on units, but I'm gonna wait on that.
Modern Freya will protect us.
Actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and play Yennefer right now. That'll give me a target for my Witch Hunters.
You crossed the wrong sorceress.
Our pyres will light up the north.
Magic sows chaos.
Modern Freyr is patient, but she brooks no insult.
So I wonder if that means his last card is Renew, because if it is, he's not running Camby then. I'll go ahead and get my third drummer out.
Well,
this is
it's
not
war.
impossible to win.
7 limbs, blood, and guts.
This is not impossible to win. The benefit, the good thing, this is a good
But
thing
we're
about having
broke as
last
shit
word.
peddlers.
Because if his last card is Renew, then we can win
Army's a
this.
waste of time for one like me.
Anything in particular interest you?
Sure, no problem.
Well, well, impressive.
My lads will make sure of that.
As you wish, milady.
Okay, there you go. It's a couple of games. We actually came from a bad draw in the first round and the second round, a bad mulligan in the second round, came back and won the game. So there you go. I will show you the deck again so you can get a good look at it, but that's basically how the deck works. You just got to get a lot of musters going, get a lot of buffs going, thin out your deck as quickly as possible in round one, because you want to be able to get all that efficiency going, so you can get the cards that you need for rounds 2 and 3. So let me rearrange this for you so you can get a better look at it. Because OCD is a thing. Let's pull the drummers down. All right, so there you go. There's the deck in the nutshell right there. The only thing left for me to say is if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I do try to make regular Gwent content as much as my real life responsibilities allow me to. Anyway, this is Pyro saying farewell to you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video.